there, guys, and welcome to another Factorio Friday Facts number 304, Small Bugs, Big Changes, and I'm with Affliction, as, again, not as always, but again.
Hello, everyone.
Uh, so, yeah, so basically they're down to 29 bugs on the forum, which is a pretty huge change, seeing as they were at over 50, I think 55 or so last week, so in just a week, they've cut it almost in half.
Yeah, and that's not counting the bugs that have been open since then.
Yeah, exactly. And the last bugs are ones that they've basically been procrastinating on. Um, they generally require some more meaningful changes decision. That is why this week has a lot to discuss. So the G2A update. G2A got back to us this Monday. Nothing much has happened, so I will keep it short. They asked if we would agree to an audit to verify the money lost to chargebacks. We said yes, and they said they will start contacting some audit companies, and that will take some time. So probably like several months based on how this stuff works. it
Yeah, I'm not expecting any substantial update in the next few weeks.
yeah. Next thing is rail planner obstacle avoidance. Kovacs was convinced by members of the forum to add some way to use the obstacle avoidance mode of the rail planner. Now, when planning a rail path, holding control will make it use the obstacle avoidance ghost planning.
Yeah, because before, if you were planning something out, if you didn't hit shift, then it would avoid all obstacles. If you did, it would go through all the obstacles.
Yeah, so that's good.
Uh, yeah,
And then multiplayer server description. Dear server owners, the server description field is being enlarged from 120 to 5,000 characters, and it now loads immediately. That's a huge increase. As soon as the next release is out, you may stop abusing the tags field for your colorful descriptions.
this is a good quality of life improvement.
Yeah, I like it. Uh, Now, this is interesting. Oil processing changes. We decided to change the basic oil processing recipe so now it only outputs petroleum gas. Normally, this recipe change would mean all three outputs would be petroleum gas, but we added a new feature so that a recipe can specify a specific fluid box to use. We also use the same system so the future water input for advanced oil processing is closed. We believe this contributes to make oil a bit less of a difficulty spike and also means we no longer need to remember which side the water goes in. This means that light and heavy oil is only available after advanced oil processing is researched. The biggest issue that this introduces is that worker robots require lubricant made from heavy oil. So, I don't like this change.
Yeah, um, yeah, I'm ambivalent on this one because this means that in order to make the chemical science packs,
Mm-hmm.
you have to create solid fuel from petroleum, which
Exactly
is
my
something
thought.
I only do as a last resort.
Yeah. And you can't yeah, and as I said, you can't make lube. So you have to research advanced oil, well, make the chemical science and research advanced oil before you can even make construction robots, which a lot of people like to get before they do chemical science. And,
Yeah,
um, like you said, making the heavy or the um, what you calls it solid fuel
solid fuel.
from
Yep.
petroleum is not only inefficient, it makes things even more difficult because petroleum is also going to be needed for your batteries and your plastic. So you're going to have even more draw on petroleum than you did previously, which is just going to make it even more of a shortage.
Yeah, I mean, I understand the concept of trying to make things less difficult, but I don't agree with the implementation here.
I think it made it more
Um,
difficult, to be honest. The only advantage it did in my mind is just make it so you don't have to remember what side the water goes on.
yeah, that's a good change. Only allowing the oil input on one side. What I don't like is um, the fact that you have to set up solid fuel production from petroleum, and then once you've researched advanced oil processing, you have to switch your solid fuel production from petroleum to light oil.
Exactly.
It just makes more work.
Yeah, and it just completely blocks off the possibility of getting construction bots before chemical science is done, which also
Yeah,
I'm
there's that
guessing
part too.
will pretty heavily mess up speedrunners because I know a lot of speedrunners nowadays rush construction robots, and that's now not going to be possible until they
Yeah.
set up blue science. So I'll read. I'm going to read after we do this what people say on the forums. I would be surprised if many people are in agreement with this change.
Yeah. I'm not in agreement with that.
Yeah. Unless we're missing something on this next paragraph, and that construction thing is irrelevant because they say the solution we chose to apply is to move worker robots behind chemical science. Pack. This change does delay. Okay, so it's basically, yeah. This change does delay how quickly you are able to get worker robots, but the difference should not be too drastic, as in order to get robots operational, you already need to set up a complete refinery, advanced circuits, and 2 upgrades of engines, which is already most of the science pack done, which is not true. You don't need advanced circuits to make construction bots, and you don't need. I guess you need electric engines for the frames, but you don't need advanced circuits.
Hmm. Yeah, advanced circuits are logistics bots, right?
Yeah, and that's part of why you could get the construction ones so early, is because you didn't need the advanced circuits. I guess one advantage to the change is basic oil processing now produces 25% more petroleum gas to offset the loss of light and heavy oil for solid fuel. So I guess that's okay.
Eh.
Yeah. And technologies with newly received chemical science pack now require less science packs to research them, so the total resource price is not too far off either. We prefer to keep flamethrower as it is, but flamethrower ammo now requires petroleum gas instead of light oil and heavy oil. Yeah, I still don't agree with this. I still don't think this is a good change at all, but
Yeah, I'm kind of skimming through the forum right now. The first few comments were, "I love the oil processing change," but then I started getting the "I just logged in to say I hate the oil processing change" comments.
yeah. Yeah, I'll have to check Reddit too. See what goes on there. It's be interested to see what you guys think who are watching. I wholeheartedly disagree with this, but we'll see. I'm sure someone will come out with a mod, or if they haven't already, that's just like make oil great again, and it reverts it, just like the barrels.
One person said, "I'd be okay with the oil change if you only removed heavy oil from it, let it output light and petroleum." Because if you let it output light and petroleum, that lets you use the correct oil for solid fuel.
Yeah, I guess so, but I mean that still blocks you from construction bots, which I think is pretty important.
Yeah.
So yeah, going to the next part, laser turret moved to chemical science. So for a long time, we felt that there aren't really enough useful technologies unlocked by chemical science, and laser turrets are a big game changer. So we're moving those to chemical science pack along with the worker robot. So now it takes even longer to get laser turrets, which I guess is okay, but a lot of people move through the game pretty slowly, and I feel like laser turrets are what a lot of people depend on to defend their base and push out, and they may not be on chemical science yet.
I'm more okay with this change than I am with the robot one because laser turrets require batteries, right?
Well, yeah, but you still need. I mean, but batteries can be made from
Which means,
petroleum, which you could.
yeah, but that it means that you need oil processing set up already to have that
Yeah, I guess that's
to
true.
to manufacture them in enough numbers to make a difference.
Yeah, good point.
So, like, by the time you have that set up, you should be well on your way to finishing chemical science.
True. So then there was a bug with laser shooting speed. The shooting speed upgrade didn't actually increase their firing rate since we switched them to use beams. The Sela fixed this so that more turret speed actually results in more damage per second, not just for laser turrets, but for personal laser defense too, which is actually massive because that's like Awesome, dude. Personal lasers are gonna be so freaking strong now.
Well, next sentence. Now that the shooting speed bonus works properly, we decreased the base shooting speed of the laser turret and personal laser defense by 50%. So you do have to research the shooting speed upgrade
True. But with all
before
the
you can get
upgrades,
somewhere.
it will be at 100%, 160% of what it used to be. So,
And they also lowered the damage of personal laser defense.
oh, damn it.
But with the
Oh,
full shooting speed technology, DPS is much higher,
well, that's good
but
still.
costs more energy.
Yeah. And then laser beam glow, and you are gonna summarize this, right?
Yeah, this is a graphical processing bug that they fixed. Essentially, the old beam graphic, when the position of the graphic got converted to the map position, it got rounded incorrectly. Or I guess the proper term is truncated incorrectly because there was less precision on that on that type of variable.
Right.
So things didn't align properly, and it caused issues, and they had to increase the scale that they scaled up by 1% to cause them to overlap. Uh, and back in 2015, didn't cause any visible issues, but now that they've redone it, it's causing issues. And so
Right.
what they figured out is that um, they needed to redo the texture filtering. It was being filtered bilinearly. They need to do trilinear.
Mm-hmm.
It's more detail than we need to go into, but essentially it looks better now than it did before, and things actually line up on the tile borders.
Yeah, which is really
And
nice.
there are no artifacts on the tile borders.
Yeah. So in the second set of pictures, you can see the difference. Well, they're the second set are the improved versions. One zoomed out, one zoomed in, but you can clearly see a difference between that and the initial set of pictures.
Yeah.
Um,
And then at the very bottom, where you have three laser turrets, left is what we had before, right is what we have now, with the glow in the dark aspect.
yeah, which is super nice. I really like it. It just kind of another nice aesthetic thing added to the game.
Yep.
And then lastly, inserters getting stuck. By Twinson, I did some improvements to inserters during some releases of 17. I made them fast by removing what I thought were pointless pauses where the inserter would do nothing for one tick in some situations, but after 17.50, this started happening, where the inserter couldn't grab stuff. Um, in some specific situations, the inserter would aim for an item coming towards it, but because the item was too fast, it would overshoot the inserter head. If this is timed in a certain way, it would happen indefinitely. But before 050 or 1750, this didn't happen because the inserter would pause for the 1 second. Um, but it also meant the inserter would probably potentially wait up to 10 ticks during one swing. Um, so basically, he didn't want to revert back to the previous logic. Many more complex solutions were not very feasible, either since belt inserter interaction is a performance critical part of Factorio. So the final solution was to pause for one tick after failing to pick up an item, but only if the inserter head is on top of the belt. This should be the best compromise, all things considered. Uh, and they plan to do a release on Monday, so you'll have a chance this weekend to share your thoughts regarding any of these changes. And maybe
Yeah.
they'll change their mind about the oil one.
This is that we're only at a couple of hours, maybe 3-4 hours after the release of the Friday Facts at this point. Um, there's already 5 pages on the forum for this.
Wow. Jeez. Yeah, so I'm sure people are having pretty strong opinions.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's going to do it. We'll call it here, guys. I know by the time most of you watch this, it'll probably be almost a day since this release, but there's still plenty of time to go leave your thoughts on the forums and let them know how you feel. But I think that's going to do it. You have anything else to add?
Nope. I'm going to keep reading those forums and find out what people think about basic oil.
Same here. All right. Take care, guys. Leave your thoughts below as well, and we will see you next time.
See ya.